of man. 9. The whole solar system has been set up especially for man. We can see, as mentioned above, the distances between the celestial bodies, the sizes of different celestial bodies, and their speeds of movement have all been accurately and meticulously designed and arranged in strict accordance with the scientific laws of the survival and development of matter, with not an iota of coincidence. Some people may argue the sun and the earth are extremely important to mankind, but the other celestial bodies in the solar system are just dispensable. Actually, this is not the case. Mercury, Venus, Mars, asteroid clusters, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are all set up to protect the Earth. They are the additional bodies of the Earth and obviously have been set up and arranged for man. A riddance of any heavenly bodies or a change to any factor will alter the orbit of the Earth and man will not survive on Earth. Life only exists on Earth in the entire solar system, and there is absolutely no life on other planets, because they are appurtenances of the Earth. To discover the secrets of the universe, astronomers have created countless space telescopes to observe the space all days and nights. This is too tiring a task. Actually, if only we are capable of calculating and thinking, we can calculate, starting from man's basic necessities for survival, the masses of the Earth, the Moon, and other celestial bodies, the distances between them, their orbits and speed. Without looking up into the sky, we can know what is there beyond Pluto and whether Uranus has satellites. When we come to know that there are superior life spaces apart from human society, we can infer the size and structure of the entire universe. When we are aware of this, we will discover that there are no superfluous galaxies and celestial bodies in the universe and that each has its function and position. Suppose we are in a highly democratic and developed country, we can infer from the clean and tidy streets that the country has a highly efficient urban sanitation management. From the size of the city and its population and the living standard and other factors, we can work out the number of dustmen in the city without counting them one by one from each street to lane. If the actual figure is one more than our calculation, it is for temporary replacement in case of the absence of one of the dustmen. 10. The Earth's skin aerosphere. The aerosphere occupies the space from the sea level to 1,000 kilometers above. 99% of the atmosphere is concentrated within a space of 40 kilometers from the surface of the Earth and above. The aerosphere is divided into troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, ionosphere, and exosphere according to the different chemical components within various altitude ranges. The range about 18 kilometers above sea level belongs to the troposphere. 99% of the troposphere consists of vapor. The climatic changes and natural phenomena of thunder and lightning, wind and rain, drifting clouds, evening or morning glow, and rainbows all occur in the troposphere. The atmosphere consists of 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and 1% of other gases, such as carbon dioxide, argon, and ozone. The aerosphere is the skin of Earth without which the Earth would be as bleak and desolate as the Moon, the Mars, and other celestial bodies. There would be no life on Earth. Then how did the Earth's skin come into being? Some may say the aerosphere only occurs naturally. Then why is there no aerosphere on the Moon and Mars? The proportions of different gases in the atmosphere are just right. The increase or decrease of the proportions of any gases would be catastrophic to life on Earth. For example, oxygen accounts for only 21% of the atmosphere. The absence of oxygen will mean the instant death of man and animals, and the reduced amount of oxygen will hinder the normal activities of man and animals. It is impossible to carry out normal activities on the summit of the Everest and Himalayas because of the scarcity of oxygen. The spacecraft must be equipped with adequate oxygen for astronauts to carry out normal explorative activities. If oxygen in the atmosphere accounts for more than 21%, the people and animals in the low-latitude regions may suffer poisoning and the inflammables in the nature will be liable to spontaneous combustion. An iota of spark may trigger many things ablaze. Apart from moisture, sunlight, and carbon dioxide, plants also need a large amount of nitrogen oxide for their growth. If the content of nitrogen is less than 78%, no matter how often or on what scales thunder and lightning may occur, there won't be enough nitrogen oxide created for the absorption of plants on the surface of the Earth. The amount of carbon dioxide accounts for less than 1% of the atmosphere. The small amount of carbon dioxide is the core factor of greenhouse effect, which maintains the global temperature between -21 degrees and 14 degrees Celsius. Without carbon dioxide, the ocean will be frozen up and the plants will die out. However, with too much carbon dioxide, man and animals may die of poisoning and the temperature of the Earth may rise dramatically. We may ask, how did atmosphere and the accurate proportions within the atmosphere come about? We cannot always attribute the inexplicable phenomena to naturally formed as a matter of course, can we? Without the careful attention of the parents, can a person grow up naturally after he was born? Is the lighting electricity we use generated naturally? Does the plane weighing dozens of tons fly naturally in the sky? Can we naturally reap a bumper harvest by simply throwing some seeds on the ground without hoeing the weeds, fertilization, and watering? There is absolutely nothing involuntary in the universe, and everything is managed and manipulated by someone or some kind of wisdom. What are you suspicious about then? 11. The guardian of life, ozonosphere. Up in the sky between the space 20 kilometers and 30 kilometers from the Earth's surface, there exists a sky-blue transparent sphere. It is the ozonosphere in the stratosphere of the aerosphere, which is the guardian of life on Earth. Without it, the cosmic rays, especially the ultraviolet emitted by the sun, will shine on man and animals without any resistance. As a result, 99% of man and animal will be inflicted with cancer and 99% of man and animals will suffer cataract. The organism immune system of man and animals will be weakened, and any occurrence of contagious diseases like flu will wipe out man and animals in groups. Because of this, the Congress of Vienna in 1985 and the London Revised Conference in 1990 developed the resolution for human to protect the ozone layer. Why? First discovered by a German scientist in 1839, ozone is a relatively unstable light blue molecule composed of 3 oxygen atoms. The molecule of ozone mainly results from the photolysis of intense ultraviolet. The content of ozone accounts for less than 100,000th in the atmosphere. 90% of ozone is concentrated in ozonosphere, which absorbs and filters the ultraviolet radiation waves readily absorbable by the nucleic acid in the biological cells. Ranging in wavelengths between 240 nanometers and 320 nanometers, these ultraviolet radiation waves will cause the above diseases and pose direct threat to the survival of life on Earth if they are absorbed by animals, plants, and man. Ozone and ozonosphere are protecting man, but the ozone inhaled by people near the ground is a harmful substance, which is capable of damaging the lung tissues and the photosynthesis reaction system of plants. As a mighty photochemical oxidant, it can cause great damage to rubber, plastics, and the life of animal and plants. It can react with the hydrocarbon of automobile exhaust and volatile gasoline to generate the organic pollutants like acetaldehyde and ketone. In 1973, 2 scientists from California University discovered that CCS artificial substance can damage the ozonosphere while the refrigeration industry and aviation industry are creating ozone. The activities of human being are pushing himself to the brink of extinction. This has brought the concern of scientists and far-sighted political leaders. And this is why people should protect the ozonosphere while prevent the increase of ozone in the troposphere, especially within the Earth's surface. The ozonosphere also has other functions. For example, it can rub against meteorites in the space and burn and digest them in the ozonosphere, or the Earth will be littered with meteorites and the weight of Earth would not be the same today. The Earth would have fallen to the sun long before. I'm not here to discuss how to protect the ozonosphere, but to illustrate that the ozonosphere in the aerosphere has not formed naturally, that ozonosphere is not dispensable but has been carefully designed and arranged by the greatest creator. 12. The blood of the earth, water. Can we perceive the existence of the greatest creator through water? To answer this question, first we will have a look at the property of water, the functions of water, and the circulation of water. Water is composed of numberless water molecules which are made up of 1 oxygen atom and 2 hydrogen atoms. One side of water molecule, the side with hydrogen atoms, is the anode and the other side is the cathode. Since like charges repel each other but opposite ones attract, then anode of a water molecule is linked to the cathode of another water molecule. As a result, as long as they exist in the same place container, all the water molecules will be linked together and form the water that we commonly refer to because all the molecules have anodes and cathodes. Pure water is colorless, tasteless, and odorless. Its pH value is 7, neither acidity nor alkalinity. Water is the only substance in nature that can exist in 3 forms: solid, liquid, and gas. It has greater solubility than any other liquids. So water can transport the valuable chemical elements, minerals, and nutrition to plants, animals, and human body very easily. Water freezes and changes into solid state at 0 degrees Celsius and becomes boiling water at 100 degrees Celsius. When the surface of water is irradiated by heat, the water molecules on the surface can become vapor and changes into gas state. Water can absorb and disperse heat. Water has very strong surface tension. When the sun shines on the water surface, the heated water will evaporate and become vapor, which can continuously rise in the troposphere until the strong wind brings it to the distant sky over the land, where the rising warm air current from the heated land surface will force it to continue the ascension until it meets the cold air current. The temperature and the vapor content decrease dramatically in the troposphere with the increase of altitude. When vapor meets cold air current, it will revert to the state of liquid. When the temperature is cold enough, the vapor will change into minute crystals particles and form clouds when combined with dust, soot, and salt crystals. When these minute water granules combine to form larger water drops, they will fall to the ground in the form of rain as a result of the gravitation of the earth. Some of the falling rain returns to the oceans through the brooks and rivers, while some infiltrates underground to become groundwater. The groundwater can flow out to become surface water after hundreds of years and finally returns to the oceans. Some of the rain immediately changes into vapor after falling to the ground. The Earth is a closed space of circulation for water. The total amount of water will neither increase nor decrease. Therefore, there will be no change in the total amount of water on Earth no matter whether it is absorbed by plants, animals, and humans, or it is used to wash the diapers, or has evaporated and risen up in the sky. Whether it has flowed into the sewage pipes or infiltrated underground. Perhaps the water molecule you are drinking was the water once drunk by Jesus or Sakyamuni, or used to wash diapers by a mother. The total amount of water on Earth is 326,000,000 cubic miles, of which the ocean takes up 97.24%, glaciers and icebergs account for 2.14%. The groundwater accounts for 0.61%, and rivers only accounts for 0.0001%. Let's see whether there is the greatest creator in water accordingly. Without water, the Earth is nothing but a desert with no life on. No matter how capable man is, he cannot create water. In addition, people would have long perished without water, let alone create water. That is to say, water on Earth is created by someone who does not need water, who can exist without water. Someone wise may claim, water is not created, it is something existed on Earth since time immemorial. If this opinion is correct, we can be sure that the Earth has neither past nor future but is timeless in existence. Then astronomers and scientists' assertion that the Earth was born 4.6 billion years ago is purely a traveler's tale. Furthermore, since the Earth has existed since time immemorial and the Earth is only a small component of the universe, there will be no question of the birth of the universe, and the universe must also have existed since time immemorial. Since the universe has no beginning, then all the celestial bodies and galaxies in the universe must be timeless and eternal. So it is absolutely impossible for meteorites to fall on the Earth. Otherwise, the meteorites may have fallen from nowhere. Now that meteorites have fallen on the Earth, it means that changes have occurred in the space or certain celestial body has encountered disaster. The disaster that befalls on one celestial body will in turn affect the surrounding celestial bodies and trigger changes in other related celestial bodies. Thus, will some celestial bodies perish someday? Will some new celestial bodies come into being? If a celestial body comes and goes, then undoubtedly the Earth can also come and go. If the Earth has a beginning, it is impossible that the Earth has possessed all the things now on Earth from the very beginning. There must have been a process of generation and development. So where does water come from? If we say that the water on Earth has come into being naturally, then the following questions need to be answered. Why is water colorless, tasteless, and odorless? What if water has color, for example, if water is red or black? What if water has taste, for example, if water is spicy, sour, or astringent? What if water has smell, for example, if water emanates a fragrant or fishy smell? Why does water has a very powerful solubility? What will happen if water cannot dissolve the food we have eaten and the drug we have taken, if water cannot dissolve the red blood cells and white blood cells growing in the marrows, and if water cannot dissolve minerals, chemicals, and other nutritional substances? Why does the pH value of purified water stand at 7? What will happen if the pH value is smaller or greater than 7? Why does water have three states: gas, liquid, and solid? What will happen if water is only in the state of liquid and no gaseous or solid state? Will there be changes of climate on Earth if water cannot turn into vapor? Can we still see the blue sky, white clouds, morning or evening glows? If water cannot change into solid state at low temperatures and form a layer of ice on the lake surface to block the harsh cold, will the fish not be frozen to death? How much land will be left if the ice that accounts for 2.14% of the total water amount has melted into water? Why does the solid state of water have a smaller density than the liquid state of water? If the solid state of water has a greater density than the liquid state of water, the ice formed on the river surface will continuously sink to the bottom, and the rivers, lakes, and oceans will all be changed into solid ice. When will the heat of the sun melt the ice? Will there be life if all the fishes, shrimps, and turtles have been frozen? Why does water have a powerful function in absorbing and releasing heat? If water cannot absorb heat, the temperature of the equatorial areas in summer will be too high for man and animals to survive. The heat of the engines in our automobiles will not be carried away by water, and the pistons will be stuck inside the cylinders because of the heat expansion. If water does not have powerful heat dissipation, the temperate zone, especially the coastal regions, will be terribly cold in winter, and the heat in the engine will not be released. Why does water boil at 100 degrees Celsius? If water does not boil at 100 degrees Celsius but at 20 degrees, many rivers, lakes, and oceans will have become a steaming pot where we can get boiled fish directly from. If water does not boil until it reaches 150 degrees Celsius, it would be impossible to boil food with ordinary pots, and it would be impossible to have food cooked at altitudes higher than 3,000 meters. Why does water have very strong surface tension? If water does not have very strong surface tension, how can it be absorbed by the root systems of plants and enter the venations of trees to bring nutrition to leaves and fruits? How can it move inside the capillary vessels of man and animals and transport nutrition to the surface layer of skins and the internal organs? Well, so much for the water subject. Just imagine, if water is not created by the greatest creator through careful arrangement, is it possible for the nature to create water with the above special functions?